I was into just prior to when I came across the new presentation. About a year before that, I got into astral projection as well, and I went to a conference in the UK, and there was a guy there, and he was like teaching it, and he said he had courses where he would teach it, sort of thing. And up until then, I assumed astral projection was just the sort of things that only mystics and gurus could do, so I never really gave it much thought. I was aware that the people were doing it and it could be done, but I just assumed that the average person couldn't. But then I went to the course and learnt the technique, and I was astral, and I've been doing astral projection on and off for the past year or so. But I was reading in one of your posts how you can get holes in your aura and things like this, and how you can be interfered with, and you can even have your cord severed and stuff like that. And interesting enough, I took that quite seriously, so I sort of made a conscious decision to stop doing it, sort of thing. But now I'm finding that I'm almost automatically doing it without doing the process by which I would do it before. It's almost like I'll be laying there, and all of a sudden I'll just be there and doing it, sort of thing. And I'm thinking, oh, am I going to get attacked by some entity or something, or have a cord severed? So it's I don't know if by making the connection, perhaps the guides might be keeping an eye out for me while I'm doing it. Because I think I read as well that you said that the guides actually will prevent you from being able to do it for your own interest, because it's in.
It just depends, Kevin, on the individual, and so no, astral projection or anything, any of these things, or the psychic sciences or anything, they're all an experience, and it's all okay. Once you start doing the new you, okay, you have. See, now you have this unconscious ability to just automatically do this. You set it up. And it's not necessarily you're doing astral projection anymore, but your awareness is simply shifting. There is a difference, okay? And so you will gradually learn what this difference is, all right? So just because you might say leave your body, or you're in another, dimension or a position from your body, doesn't mean you're astral projecting, because they will take care of that. For the most part, they will stop that, simply because it becomes harmful. You see, yeah, you can have a glass of wine or something, but if you become a wino or an alcoholic, see, it becomes harmful. Yeah, so the experience of it, when you start to do the new you, that gives them, in other words, and you decide your agreement with them, and you have to ask too. It's like, will you guide me and protect me? So again, you kind of set that up, and of course they will. So they need your agreement too, because you have free will. They don't just intrude, but as you're doing the new you, that will create a protectiveness, because the reptilians don't like the vibration of the new you. They will actually scatter and disappear. They love the hue and the other things. They suck that up, and they take over a person. But no, you're fine. You just do the new you. You simply watch what happened, because you're Kevin, and you've accumulated your experiences. There's no good or bad. There's just really figuring out what's going on, and you just learn to make better choices. That's all. So, and some things are automatic. We have sensations and urges and all this stuff, and etc. And we all have to deal with it, because it's in part of the five senses or the bodies. But at the same time, you're fine. They'll help you along, and it's just like a person with a disease or something. And I'm not saying that astral projection is a disease, not at all. Actually, Paul taught that at first, because it's very easy. Astral projection is very easy, and one of the first things Paul did, he called it bilocation. And the idea was, it was not really to teach people bilocation or astral projection. It was to have them have the experience that they were more than the physical body. That's what he started off with. Then he changed it to soul travel. So he took it a step at a time. And soul travel was the movement of your awareness through the various five bodies. That's why he used this five-body representation with his teaching of Eckankar. At the time, I was there. I know what was going on. And so, but now, we don't need that anymore. You see, and we don't need the third eye and all these things. You have these chakras and all that, but we don't focus on that, because It's the isness. Now it's recognizing the isness. It's the next step. And this is where, even all these people, all the members of Ekankar and these other paths, they don't recognize what I'm doing because they don't have the recognition of it. They're still in their self-defined mental, emotional states of what they think life is. And there becomes a huge difference. 1 second here. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So whatever you're experiencing now, it's okay. The new you will take care of that. But it's very real. I knew people that did astral projection. I knew one fellow that came into EC in the earlier days when I was there, when things were real. And he did astral projection. He'd come home every day and go in his closet and leave his body. Well, after he came in with the new guys, the real guides, that all stopped. Because, and I've known people that have done it in the psychic sciences that had no guidance, and all of a sudden they had huge attacks from entities. All of a sudden entities were coming in, even into a physical presence, because you're opening portals there. And so, when you really look at David Icke and David Wilcox and all these other people, really what are they doing? Even the Dalai Lama and whatever, they're basically all bought off by the reptilians. They're promoting programs that keep people tap-lined and unaware. And if you go to the real side and you see it, and it's like the individuals here that have had experiences like with the Ekankar seminars, they've went in there, Ava has and others, and on every person that's at the seminar, there's a reptilian sucking on them. But you don't see it from the physical side. So they're just going there, hugging each other, loving. It's the love. It's a passive love thing. But they're actually, what it is, it's all for Joni, reptilian Joni. She did the takeover and all these things. Most of them are reptilian, even David Icke and all these things. You don't even know if it's David Icke. It's probably a clone. I don't even really care. Because, again, I see it as just something. It's just mainly marketing and mainly anything that's popular, like religion, like being a Catholic or a Christian or a Muslim. Look at all these people. They are so subdued and tap-lined. We see them on the real side, and they're totally dark, black people is what they are. They're all dark. And because, again, they're looking to the fake gods that control them. And so, again, they can wake up. But you're fine, Kevin. You just do the new you, have your experiences, and, if you're so-called leaving your body or having that feeling, just go with it. They will set you up. They will guide you to the natural flow. So lucky you have this. And my daughter had it too. And me, I just shift my awareness. And I don't have to go anywhere. This is the best thing. Eventually, like the sun shining, there's no projecting. You don't have to go anywhere. But if you want to fly on the real side or something, yeah, that's fun. It's like kids at the playground. But you know what? The bigger picture is you don't have to go anywhere. It's all an isness. It's a nowness. And you simply recognize the real universes are here and now, but you have to recognize them. It's not a matter of upper and lower. But you're fine. You're fine, young man. And so, and you'll see this. So, but those people that, want the thrill of that and whatever, that's fine. It's like bungee cord jumping or parachuting. Yeah, but sometimes the parachute doesn't open. And then so you got to deal with it. Then you got to learn to fly real fast. So, but you're fine. You're fine. Good for you. You read these things and see it. And again, I commend anybody that has went through these experiences because it's a risk-taker position. And the guides know what you have to go through. So you've been picked and you've went through this process of these things and you've come here. Now you start to see the difference, but there's still a lot more. But they've prompted you to come through these experiences and to give you this opportunity for the next step. But whatever you're doing, you're fine. You're taken care of. As long as you proceed and decide to. But if you decide to go back to your personal life, well, that's your choice.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to the course with the astral projection course, the teacher there, he was adamant there was no risk or danger to it whatsoever. But almost as soon as I went home and I started practicing it myself, I could see there could definitely be some problems with it, because I had all sorts of funny encounters when I was doing my projections. there were all sorts of strange creatures sort of lurking around out there, and stuff like that. And I remember one of my experiences I had is when I went to some sort of, it's almost like a strange arena, and there was this sort of creature, and it was like a sort of a white dragony thing, and it seemed to have all these sort of people that were sort of slaves, and they were like entertaining it, sort of thing, and it was almost like a gladiatorial sort of setup, sort of thing. And it saw me, and it tried to grab me as well, and I assume it wanted me to be a part of its little entertainment setup. But I sort of, I managed to escape and come back into my body. So I could see straight away that it wasn't as risk free as this teacher led us to believe.
No, you kind of went to the lower astral Star Wars bar, didn't you? Did you ever see Star Wars, the original?
Oh yeah. With all
all the funny people at the Star Wars bars. I use that as a joke lots of times. And I'm not criticizing or making comments on these people. Things become obvious. Okay, so when we're talking about these different things, political, religious, or whatever, it's not criticism or comments. People think, oh, that's an attack, that you're criticizing. No, this is what they're actually doing. And just like your teacher, he may be very proficient at it, you see. But at the same time, I'm sure a lot of his so-called students or whatever, sure, everybody wants the thrill of astral projection, pop out of your body, fly at night, go through this, whatever. But when you really, really look at it realistically, what are you doing, and what does it relate to? Okay, more so than just the thrill. So you go through the thrill of it, which is fine. That's okay, like parachute jumping or driving fast on the freeway with your car, whatever it is. I'm a surfer, and that's a thrill too, but I see it as more of exercise. Actually, it wears me out. It's a lot of work, especially as you're older, but I like to get out there. But, for the most part, the personal self, it wants the thrills, it wants the experience, and we go through the challenge and we beat ourselves up. But all of a sudden, yes, you're seeing it. It's not what it's marketed to be. Things aren't that. There's always something else to it. It's like the business world, and all these programs where people tell you, okay, follow my program and you'll make a lot of money. Well, yeah, you can. The potential is there. You can make a lot of money. But at the same time, it can become a big headache, and you got to do a lot of things to make it work, like anything else. And so astral projection is fine. Everything is fine. That's why we're here to experience it. But you don't have to be, I'll say it this way, you don't have to be limited by it. That's the difference, you see? And so as you start to discover that there are real universes of, the true reality life is, the isness, there's no karma, no reincarnation, no restrictions, no gods, no lords, no nothing. You're a free being of real light. Well, then this becomes the great adventure to discover, but you need to recognize it, and it's endless. The recognition of it's endless. It's not just Buddha sitting under the banyan tree, and it's like, ooh, puff, I got enlightenment. Okay, really, the enlightenment idea and the spirit idea and the light of life, or people are looking for the light, whatever. That's the astral light, is what it is. It's a reflective light from the real light, comes through creation, and it is the knowledge off the astral realm. This is what the Palladians and others have, and the spiritual paths, they have the astral light. That's really what it is, and it's knowledge. It is the knowledge. You light up, or the idea of a light bulb, and all of a sudden you're lighting up, and I got this idea. Well, that's in creation. That's basically the astral light. And this is why most of these things are, the astral, the causal, mental realms. They're basically all the same. And so there's really not a higher or lower. They're all right here and now. And the biggie is your intuition or your subconscious, but very few people use their intuition to oversee their mental and emotional states. They mainly are locked into reacting to things and creating ideas that they think that are better than anything, or that they know more than life itself. And this is what we have on the planet today. All these people thinking that they know so much, but at the same time, they're agreeing to the destruction of it. So they're really not using even their intuition, are they? So astral projection is simply projecting the astral body, your emotional body. And I would say it would be better to get in tune with your intuitive body to eventually recognize, which is your etheric body, to eventually recognize your real awareness. And so, these are just simply steps, but good for you. You have the experience. You see how it works. Now you have some new experiences with the new you. So now you're going to have a comparison and a reference to everything that you've been through, and then you decide through the choices you make what your experience is going to be and the end result. So, again, this is where you start to wake up and decide how far you want to go with it, young man. Yes, you're doing great.